All right, I will first make note that there has been an amendment to the original agenda. It was posted earlier today. So with any kind of luck, everybody that's paying attention has got that amended agenda. It was removing one item and adding a different item. So we will get to there later in the meeting. So first we have our department head reports. So we'll start with Patty, the city administrator.
Good evening, everybody. This is my monthly report for October 8 or November 16th. I'm sorry. Anyway, tonight will be another discussion regarding the 2023 budget, which we just had. Shoot. You know what? I'm sorry. Can we move on to the next person?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so we'll skip over and do police chief, interim police chief, Jason.
Good evening. Yeah. So for the month of October, some of the highlights, we've had quite a few very high labor intensive sensitive crimes that we've been investigating. I don't know if you guys got the monthly report a little while back here, but we've put in a ton of man hours into these investigations, conducted quite a few search warrants following up on these things. I can't get into the details of them, but that has taken a lot of the hours that our officers have been working have been applied to these cases. In October and actually just last week as well, I've attended 2 out of the 3 weeks of the LPO Leadership of Police Organizations training that has put on by the Wisconsin Department of Justice. It's kind of a shoot off of West Point. So that training is very, very good and very beneficial. And I do have 1 additional week of training in December that we're going to be attending as well. This past month, we worked with members of the Amory Community Club and also with the city administrator with planning the upcoming winter holiday parade that's scheduled for December 3rd on ways to make the parade safer. In regards to people crossing Keller Avenue, going to the fire department for the chili feed. So what we've decided to do is reroute the parade route. So it will go down Keller Avenue, and then we're going to have just a safety zone area around the fire hall, so they can go between Sioux Line Park there and the fire hall freely with no traffic. We applied for some permits from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation to get the okay to detour 46 for a period of time there. So we got that taken care of. We've created a couple of the safe exchange zone signs for the front of the city center, and they are been sent the design over to Jeff there, and we're going to get those things created and put up. So anyone that's doing child exchanges or maybe online purchases, they can do it in a safe zone that's monitored on video. Just the other day, myself and the fire chief, Chuck Fraun, we met with the Amory School District in regards to school safety, and also spoke in regards to critical incidences, planning for them. We hope that never happens, but trying to come up with plans to have something in place in case that event would ever occur. We did locate some training that is going to be going on in February to help us learn a little bit more about the best practices of going forward with that to keep the kids safe. So we're going to be attending that. So that I don't know if, did you guys see the copies or the print of the safe exchange? Okay. And that's about all I have for the time being, so.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. And the fire chief. Chuck Frone.
Yeah, took me 16 years. Get your seam ripper out.
Or black magic marker. Good evening. So far this year, we've had a combined of 464 calls. That's for fire and first responder. January meeting, I'm hoping to get a hold of Jill and get them separated as to how many are fire calls and how many are first responder calls. November 10th, Polk County had a fire chiefs meeting. All chiefs of Polk County met up in Balsam Lake. Had a really good discussion up there about some training possibilities that we could be doing. One of the things was it's going to be, they're trying to get they believe it's going to be in April. As of right now, Northwoods Tech does not have a curriculum for electric vehicles. So Polk County is getting together with whoever they can get together with and have somebody come in and train. They're not going to invite the whole fire department around. They can't. So they're going to have certain individuals go up there, do the training, come back and train the fire departments to. It sounds like it should be a really good, because there is nothing out there for electric vehicles, and they're becoming more and more popular. Another one that Lisa McMahon, the emergency management up there, asked about was doing airplane crash location. Say airplane goes down, they ping. They'll give us the coordinates where we'll go out and try to find them. They were wondering who would be interested in doing that. I said, yeah, absolutely. You know, we've already had 2 crashes in our district, and we had 1 ultralight go down. So yeah, the first one was exciting. So some of the trainings from Polk County. So hopefully they'll be coming up in the springtime. Further on, I called Kyle Pierce from Motorola about our pagers. We're hoping to get them on this year's budget. And they said due to the chip and battery shortages, it ain't happening until next year. And it just so happened to be that he sent me an email today asking about the radios, because we're going to be purchasing like 5 or 6 radios, whatever it says in there. I got it, but 5 or 6 radios starting next year. He said with the length of time that it takes to do them radios or to get them built and everything else, we could order them now because they won't be, you don't pay for them until they ship, which will definitely be into next year. So if we wanted to get that started right now, we could. He sent me a form that I would have to sign and send back to him so they can get the process started. So hopefully that'll be coming through. I called Pierce Manufacturing about the refurbishment of engine 2. There again, he told me because of the number of trucks ahead of us, it won't be until after the first of the year. So we'll be busy in January. So yesterday we took brush 7, our grass rig. We had well, of course, this past month we had that one day we had 7 fire departments up north, and we had 3 more calls down here. But the pump was going bad on brush 7, so we had the money in the budget to get it replaced. Right now, as of yesterday, it went over to have the new pump put on. So with our, I know I'm long-winded, sorry. With our $10,000 COVID money or ARPA money from county, we purchased $3,831 worth of battery operated tooling. It's a nice long list. Anywhere from our roof saws to chainsaws, just a battery pack, street sweepers, just everything that we could actually we think we're good on an accident scene or a fire scene. And then we had money left over to buy a battery operated ventilation fan. And we still have $1,500 left over to further on, which is, I mean, that was one heck of a sale that they had on Milwaukee tooling. So I'm excited, guys are excited, see all that nice red shiny stuff sitting in the truck, but anyway. Last but not least, December 3rd is our chili feed. And Officer Hickok talked about the closing down of Keller, which is, I think, is a good idea. He made the comment of, what are we waiting for? Somebody to get hit by a car. It is very hectic, so that is a very good idea. So chili's gonna be from 4 to 7. Parade starts at 5:30 or 5 o'clock, I believe. So yeah, 4 to 7 is chili. Come on down and join us. So that's all I got.
Awesome.
Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
And Heather, our library director. Don't trip.
Hello, everybody. So since the last meeting, we have held 8 programs at the library, and our combined attendance is 1,264 people. The way we did this was by having our trick or treat event. We had the library open. We advertised that we were giving free books to all of the little kids that came by. So we had over 1,000 people go through the library that day. And then over 500 books were given for free to all of these kids. So it's a really good event. The first time we did it was last year, and we had about 800 people come by. So we've seen some growth, and I'm really pleased with that. I saw a lot of new faces and heard lots of comments from families that this was the first time they'd been in the library, talking about the new building. So we got to give them a tour. Really good PR and marketing for the city hall and for the library. We also hosted another special no school event. It was a superhero story time when school was closed, and that was well attended. We had our monthly books and brews. We had our monthly third Thursday crafting, and we did home delivery service. And we are currently serving 5 Amory residents. So we're looking to expand awareness of this program. It is for anybody that lives within city limits and has either short-term or long-term disability, injury, illness that prevents them from coming to the library. They can sign up, and for whatever length of time they want to be in this program, we will bring them books once a month, collect their old ones, bring them back to the library, check it in for them. So we're trying to get the word out. And I have our new adult services librarian here, Trevor.
Hi, Trevor.
He is going to be taking the program over, but if anybody has any suggestions, ideas, people you know who might benefit from this, it could be someone recovering from knee surgery and they just can't drive for a few weeks. All kinds of people qualify. And if someone lives outside of the city limits, then interfaith caregivers volunteers to deliver for us. So we're trying to get the word out. We're sending letters to area churches. We're talking to the school district, nursing homes, assisted living, etc. So if anybody has anybody in mind, send them our way, please. Or if you have any marketing ideas, let us know, because we really want to promote this. This is a pretty unique, special service. Not all libraries do it, and it's really helpful for some of our most vulnerable residents. So it's nice to reach people that need us. Our youth services librarian and Trevor, our adult services librarian, went to the state library conference a few weeks ago and came back with lots of good ideas and suggestions for new services to provide. And we've got an update on our furniture and our bookshelves. The bookshelves will probably be here by the end of this month. Unfortunately, the furniture is now backdated to maybe March. So we'll have to see how soon we get things depending on supply. And then last thing is, I'm really happy to announce that the library board recently approved a new logo for the library, and the marketing plan is started for revealing that slowly to the community. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll have a really nice, fresh new logo that suits our new building and works well with the city's logo. Any questions for me? No?
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
And Jeff, Department of Public Works.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
This month, we spent a lot of time here. We had some issues going on that everybody knows about. Won't get into that a whole lot, but took up a lot of our time. We also started working on cleaning up the creek, cut down some trees, but still pretty wet and soft in there. So we gotta wait till it firms up a little with the frost and they'll get in there and get that cleaned out. All the parks are shut down and winterized. We got all the plows ready to go. Been out sanding, hauling salt sand, so that's pretty much what our month has been. Pretty short and sweet. Any questions?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And Taylor, are you gonna come up? Our Deputy Clerk Treasurer.
All right, a lot of my last month has been spent preparing and hosting the election. We had good voter turnout, both early in person and in the mail and coming on actual election day. I actually got to accompany one of our election workers to the nursing homes this time, so I was part of going to the care facilities and doing the early voting for them so that they don't have to come here on election day. And then our poll workers did amazing with the Badger books. We had a line out the door at 7 a.m. and by about 7:15, we didn't have a line anymore. So we really burned through the line, and having those 4 Badger books really helps keep the line down throughout the day. So we were really busy throughout, but that makes it so much more manageable, and it's great to have them. Along with taking ballots, we've also been taking a lot of water payments. Those were due last Thursday, and late fees have been placed onto the bills now. So if anybody hasn't paid their bill yet, please make sure you do that. Late notices will be going out soon, but they haven't yet. And Deb was a huge help throughout the last utility billing cycle, helping run payments. So me and Ben had time to help the voters that were coming in. So it was a busy time around here. Today, I actually processed the utility bills that were not paid in time for the cutoff that will go on to taxes. We only had a handful or 2 of those that'll actually be going over to the county tomorrow to go on taxes. So we did really good with that this year. And then I've been working on getting things squared away in Workhorse. One of the Workhorse employees is actually going to come here next Tuesday. And we're going to try and get some more things figured out. We have to get the garbage rates changed in there and some of the other things that need to be taken care of before the next utility billing cycle that'll make things run more smoothly. And then Ben and I have been tag teaming the accounts payable to try and get checks out in the mail and get as many of them as possible signed up for auto pay. So that's still a work in progress. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. And back to Patty. Attempt number 2.
Okay. Department head meetings. I want to continue on with department head meetings, and we try to do those every month now that we've got new department heads in attendance. Airport manager, Jeff and I are still doing that. The upkeep of the airport is a constant. There's always things that need to be done at the airport. The fuel tanks were inspected recently and repairs were made to the fuel tanks. There were also repairs to the lighting and the runways, the taxiways and the runways. We should be hearing in the near future regarding the airport plan and the improvements needed to be made there. I've been working with Melissa Underwood of SEH, and I had some good talks with our representative from the BOA. Wisconsin Bureau of Aeronautics. And we had a pre-bid meeting yesterday for removal of the trees at the Amory Airport, most notably clearing the north end of the runway number 18 and with various clearing of wetlands around there. So that's part of our improvement, that the major plan for the airport. The city center, the building has a new update to the stucco, which you've seen. There's still some stucco that needs to be updated on the west side. We'll not be able to have that complete or paint the railings until this spring. As the weather changes made that a problem to finish. They're pretty backed up with different jobs. The west end of the building will also have landscaping completed next spring as well. Roof repairs are in progress. We had some water intrusion, and I know Jeff kind of touched on that a little bit, that the roofing contractor is taking responsibility for. So there's repairs being made to the building, and we should have it inspected within the next couple of weeks, I hope, and we should be good, yeah. Coffee Klatch, WPCA, I'll be attending Coffee Klatch with, Bob Zank at the radio station. I'll be doing that every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month, 9 in the morning. And I look forward to giving updates for the city. Police chief, the mayor and the hiring committee will be looking at applicants for police chief position by month's end. We'll be accepting applications until next Wednesday, November 23rd at 3:00. And those will come into my office. The mayor will be giving updates tonight regarding hiring of that position. Administrative assistant, we're also looking to fill that position. For City Hall, it's a 20-hour position for each week. It's a part-time position. And we're also accepting applications through next Wednesday at 3:00. We've had a couple so far, and they look pretty promising. So we'll see what happens there. If anybody has any questions regarding that position, just please give me a call at City Hall. There was a new grant that came up, and I'm just going to touch on it just briefly, but it's called Vibrant Spaces Grant. And that's through the WDEC, the Wisconsin Department of Economic Development. Ray French kind of brought it to my attention. It's a 1-to-1 match, and it starts out at $20,000 and it can go up to $50,000. It fits our needs very key for wayfinding signs, park benches, trash cans, kiosks, all that. And I know I started the work on the wayfinding sign, so I'm a little bit excited about that. And when we did the Keller project, we talked about things that we could do to improve Main Street. And all those things were looked at that time. So maybe that's something that Arts and Parks and Recreation can kind of talk about. But there's a very short window of time. I think we only have until the 31st of January. So we need to get going on that and get the application in and get a resolution through the city. And so I'm excited about that. I think that'd be great if we could get that grant. So anyway, December 7th, we'll have our city council meeting at 5. And then December 21st, I know I talked with all council, we'll probably not have committee of the whole that day. And then January 4th, we will not have a council meeting, but then the 18th, we'll have committee of the whole as well. So any questions? I know I rattled through that pretty fast, but okay, thanks.
Thank you, Patty. All right, next on the agenda is our workplace fraternization policy. And I know a copy of that is in our packet, page 2. Is this something that has been in place that we're revising, or has this not been in place before? So this is new.
Brand new. Yeah. And I thought it was a good thing to put it into place just because we've had so much turnover. And it's just good to get something in place for the new employees that are on board and they understand. We want to have a policy in place for workplace and dating relationships, those types of things.
Has everybody had an opportunity to read over this? Any questions?
I didn't have any questions.
I didn't have any questions either.
Pretty straightforward.
It is
Yeah.
pretty straightforward, and I mean, at this point in time, could we approve this tonight and have it go into place, or do we have to wait for another meeting? I mean, I would think that
We
we're,
recommend it to the.
oh, excuse me, we would recommend it to full council, so, yep,
Yeah.
so. Take it.
I'll make a motion
Make a
to
motion.
forward it to full council.
Second. All right, motion's been made and seconded to forward the workplace dating and relationship policy to full council. All in favor?
Aye.
Fine.
Any opposed? All right, so that passes. Next on the agenda is an employee uniform policy.
This is really just, it's a business attire policy.
Mhm.
I know we're trying to jazz things up here, City Hall. We want to have our logo and we want everybody to see that we're proud of our city, and council members, when they're out in the public, we get an opportunity to show everybody who we work for. And the thing with that is I don't want to go and purchase these items. And let's say I go to Kohl's and purchase some sweaters or things for the women on the council, and then if I get shirts or coats or those types of things, I don't want it to draw ire or attention that I'm buying things for myself. So this is just basically letting everybody know that we have a policy in place, and it just shows good faith that we have a policy and I'm trying to control purchases for
city council and city staff.
Is there anything already in the handbook in regards to uniform?
For public works, yes, public works and police,
Okay,
we do have that.
okay,
This is just strictly for business.
okay.
So for the policy number 5, it looks like all of us would be in violation of that policy, right? That we don't have something with our city, with the city logo on it. Is that the intention that?
It's, I guess you're not in violation, that's probably not the correct wording, but I think.
Well, if it's a policy and I'm not following it, if I see that as a violation, I'm, right. yeah.
It does say,
for
it does say
future.
encourage,
Yeah,
not,
it's
doesn't
it's not
say that it
required.
requires.
Okay.
I think we should just take the must out of that
Which,
5.
Number 5, yeah. Is it,
oh, must, okay.
yeah, that's why I read it as.
Put should or
Yeah.
encourage
Highly
or
encouraged.
something like that, but
You must wear your city.
Well, I think for staff members, I think that definitely makes sense.
Mhm.
I guess we are considered staff, but it's a little different.
I'll wear my sweater once I
No,
have
we're,
this. Exactly.
we're included in item 1.
Right, yeah.
To conferences and, you know, like league events and things like that.
I want to go for our parade.
There's.
Identifiable.
Yeah, true.
Yes, that's true.
So I don't know, it's just, it shows that we care about what we.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't want people starting to
Yeah,
write
violated.
violations of policy because we're not up here. with our-
the penalty will be you have to spend 48 hours with the mayor, right?
Yeah, yeah, that would be.
Oh.
Keeping up with, instead of
It's good
keeping
to
up
have
with
some
Kardashians.
place, because
keeping
like I
up with
said, I
it.
don't want to go shopping at Kohl's and then
Right.
the
Yep.
auditors come and say, what are you buying at Kohl's?
Mhm.
I guess I leave. the policy.
Well, just like the previous policy, it's better to have these things in place before you need them than it is to try to catch up after the fact.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
I would move that as amended or as changed, that we forward this to the council.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to forward the City of Amory employee business attire policy on to full council. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the amended agenda is the fire contract. So,
Yeah, forgot number 4.
no, I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. See, darn it. I said I'm gonna start checking things so I don't miss anything. I checked it off and went on to the next one. Gosh, darn it. All right, so number 4, police chief hiring update.
All right, so as Patty alluded to in her updates, applications are due the 23rd at 3 p.m. I think we've gotten some 3, 4
So then
ish.
it's gotten free.
Okay. We're suspecting that people are holding out until the last minute, so word doesn't get out potentially that they're applied for new jobs. So we think we'll probably get some more on the 23rd. The process after that will be then Patty and I will review and see if there's any of those that we don't want to bring forward for the full interview on the 2nd. We do have the full day planned for December 2nd to interview those candidates for the position. We've developed a list of questions. We'll be having a police chief from Hayward joining the interview team along with Eric and Sarah and myself and Patty. We'll be on the interview team. We will then out through that process come up with a suggestion and then for appointment. We'll bring that to the December 7th meeting for appointment. But before the meeting, we plan to have a public opportunity for the community and the council to engage with that potential candidate. So we can feel comfortable that this is the one that we should bring forward and appoint. So that's kind of what we're thinking now. Hopefully, the 7th is going to be a go. Although if we don't have the right candidate, I want to delay. I mean, we need to have the right candidate, not a candidate.
Right.
So we'll see what comes through the process. Questions? Thoughts?
No, I think it's a good plan.
I think that sounds like a great path forward.
I mean, ideally, we'd like somebody in place in January, but we'll see with notices and all those other things of what that looks like, but so that's our update for so far for now, so.
All right. Moving right along. Number 5, now I'll check it.
Okay,
Fire contract.
as chair of the fire commission, we met last night and the contracts were fairly close to verbatim from what they were. Deleted messages or deleted verbiage that was related to funding the fire hall, which was that was the big reason for having the changes when we did have them.
Yeah.
So those parts were removed. The part that was added, which is something that came from the ambulance service really, is item 13 on just above the signature page there. And that just protects the city. But it protects everybody that's on the in the fire district. In the event of withdrawal from fire protection, the withdrawing municipality shall continue to be obligated on any debt, short or long term, incurred during their membership. The ambulance service has had it for a number of years, and it's just a good way to protect everybody that's in there.
Yeah.
So the committee voted to accept the verbiage as is, and I would make a motion that we accept this and sign the contracts.
Can we just quickly talk before we do that about the process that happens, right? So we will, these look fine to us, but each municipality.
Yeah, each municipality will be meeting. So these are designed to go into effect January 1st. I don't know how many of you are aware of the fact that Lincoln Township sent us a notice of that they were going to be done with the fire district, which caused no amount of concern. It's no small amount of concern. And
In fact, I think I got a call.
yeah, so anyway, that made a call to the Lincoln representative to the fire board and said, oh man, that shouldn't have exactly been worded that way. The old contract stated that the only way to get the contract was automatically renewed every year. If you wanted to change it, or if you wanted to get out of it, you had to formally notify the city 60 days in advance. So Lincoln was just doing their bookkeeping and notifying that as of January 1st, the old contract, that they're not going to be bound by it. But we as a commission were already working on the fact that we had to get a new agreement in place. So it was kind of much ado about nothing, but it was, it made a few pity pats in the cardiac division. So yeah. So I'm really pleased with the way that the fire commission has functioned, and we're only 2 years into this, and I think it's doing pretty much exactly what we hoped, that it was promoting goodwill between us and the other municipalities, was giving them a real, the chance to be involved in the management decisions. And I think Chuck would agree that we've had great relations.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so
It's very good meetings.
yeah, so it's worked out well, and I think it's going to be for a long time in the future. So
Do we need to accept each individual or just approve these as presented until they come back to us?
I guess I would put the wording in the motion that you are approving the fire contracts for Alden, Blackbrook, and Moon.
Okay. I'm approving the fire contract as presented for Alden, Blackbrook, and Lincoln.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to approve the fire protection contracts for for Alden, Lincoln, and Blackbrook. to forward that on to full council. All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? None. So motion carries. And at this point in time, we're open for public comments. Any community events going on? Anybody have anything they want to discuss? It's already been mentioned, but the Light Up the Town chili feed parade of lights on Saturday, December 3rd. It is also I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, it's the holiday stroll that day, and there's lots of different events going on this year that we haven't had in the past. So take a peek at the newspaper online and on Facebook pages. There's going to be like a ugly sweater run, I think is what it's referred to, and some other fun things. So it's going to be a really cool day in Amory, and
Don't say that.
it's going to be a very active day in Amory.
Good idea.
With no cold weather, and it's gonna turn out to be a great day. I'm very confident of that.
One
So
other thing is I got an email today from the celebrations committee, and they still have 5 Christmas trees. So if any business wants to get involved in that, they still have 5 trees, just get a hold of them and then we have extras, so.
I know it's down to 4. So and so what is intended for that is any business or organization that wants to decorate a tree. It could even be a family or a group or anybody to decorate trees in Sioux Line Park. So it's gonna be really exciting. So any other events to note?
In that, say when they're bringing trees, they're pick them up.
I don't know.
If they have not.
I haven't heard anything on that either. All right, with
And
that,
secure your decorations, so they don't blow all over the place.
yeah, it's a toughie. Mhm, that's a toughie, so. All right,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
thank you, Chad.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?